Hi there, it's your Aztec buddies again here. Steve Perez, Louis Weiner, Aztec Aluminiums. Yours truly, an Aztec for life. Aztecs, as in all caps, underline and bold. And the Aztecs send Brady Hoke out a winner on this, his final game of the season. Winning the old oil can back from Fresno State tonight, 33-18 at Snapdragon Stadium. Hello to you, Louis. I forgot all about the sprint for the old oil can wiener.
What does that mean?
We'll find out at the end.
It was a rip-roaring wind. Where has that been all year?
Senior quarterback Jalen Maiden will talk about his mammoth touchdown run tonight in the second quarter. He and Garrett Fountain will discuss the meaning of winning this game. This, the final one in Brady Hoke's career. We will hear more from Brady Hoke, of course, and close with a little bit on the Aztecs' second overtime win over a team from the amazing Vanishing Athletics Conference. So, Louis, we have an Aztecs football game to wrap up as we have an Aztecs football season to wrap up. So, let's get right to it, okay?
Let's do it.
All right, so the Aztecs are saying goodbye to their 18 seniors tonight. They have 5 starters on offense and defense, just 1 on special teams, and also their head coach. And, of course, a chance to get their hands back on the old oil can in front of an announced crowd of 22,000. It's a clear, chilly night at Snapdragon. Temps in the high 50s later in the game. The Aztecs will get the ball off the bat. They will move it well inside Fresno State territory, but an untimely false start, a sack a few plays later, and they gotta give it up. Fresno State, for its part, will waste little time. They will go no huddle. They will pick up 1 first down to their own 29 on 2 plays, and then 3 plays later, it's 3rd and 1 at their own 38. Malik Sherrod will break through the initial line of Aztec defenders and beat feet to the end zone. 62 yards is 7-0, and it's starting to look like one of those nights. Instead, the Aztecs will answer back with a drive of their own. 9 plays, 62 yards. Tight end Cameron Harpole jump-starting that drive with a 20-yard reception. They will end up settling for the 32-yard Jack Browning field goal. It's 7-3. Aztecs trail. Scoreless rest of the way with the Aztecs facing 4th and 8 on the Fresno State 22 as the quarter comes to an end. Louis?
Second quarter starts, Steve, with some Aztec points courtesy of a 37-yard field goal from Jack Browning to make it 7-6 Fresno State. Aztecs forced to punt next drive, but not before quarterback Tobin Odell gets in the game for the first time this season. He got the snap, handed it off to Jalen Maiden, who threw a 5-yard completion to Mark Redmond. And that's when the Aztecs defense really started to dominate the game, forcing Fresno State into 3 straight 3-and-outs. It was after that first 3-and-out that the Aztecs had the play of the game and a huge, Steve, chunk play.
Ooh, the play of the game.
Chunk play, Steve. It's a familiar play. We've seen it before. Maiden handing the ball to Jalen Armstead, but Maiden surprised everyone by pulling the ball, running left, and he just kept running. 70 yards for a touchdown with Leo Kemp with the block leading the way to give the Aztecs a 13-7 lead. After that second 3-and-out, thanks to a sack from Keon Mitchell, Aztecs get the ball back on a short field at Fresno's 48-yard line. Odell back in. He ran the quarterback keeper for 5 yards, and then a 15-yard pass from Maiden to Redmond got the ball to the 28, but Mekhi Shaw could not handle a pass from Maiden, who got rid of it in time as he got hit hard, but Shaw couldn't hold on to it. Aztecs settled for a 42-yard field goal from Jack Browning to make it 16-7. After Fresno and San Diego State traded punts, Fresno got the ball back with 53 seconds left, and after passes of 17, 15, and 13 yards, got a 43-yard field goal from Dylan Lynch to cut the lead to 16-10 at halftime. Steve?
Fresno gets the ball to open the second half, and the defense gets them off the field without surrendering their first down. Aztecs answer with their first possession, starts on their own 49, courtesy of a shanked Fresno State punt. They will convert on 3rd and long on a short pass out of the backfield to Christian that covers 12 yards. 2 plays later, Harpole will cover 21 yards on a middle screen pass to the Fresno State 7. They will then give the ball to Jalen Armstead on 3 straight plays. He will score finally on a 1-yard carry. The Aztecs will lead this one 23-10. Fresno State again goes 3 and out and has to give it up. Aztecs will take over on the Fresno State 36. Third down, a big screen play to Balin Brooks goes 28 yards to the Fresno State 34. They will run 6 more plays to the 18 as the third quarter comes to a close.
Fourth quarter, Steve, starts off with the Aztecs finishing off a 14-play, 49-yard drive that took 7 minutes and 23 seconds with a Jack Browning 33-yard field goal to make it 26-10 Aztecs. He ties a school record with 4 field goals in a game, which has now happened 10 times in Aztecs history. So Fresno down 16, but Steve, the Bulldogs didn't roll over and play dead. Yes, I went there. They embarked on a 10-play, 75-yard drive, capped off with a 1-yard touchdown from Malik Sherrod, and with the 2-point conversion from Mikey Keene to Jalen Moss, the Bulldogs pull within 8, 26-18. Aztecs trying to run some clock on the next drive, and boy, did they. Taking over with 10 minutes left, Tobin Odell back in the game at quarterback, runs for 14, then tries a flea flicker that fooled nobody, so he only got 2 yards on the run to the Aztecs 36. And from there, the Aztecs just grind it out with runs of 6 from Armstead, 12 from Maiden, 5 from Armstead, 4 from Davis, 1 and 2 from Armstead. And then a big first down pass from Maiden to Mark Redmond gets the ball to the 20 with 3:16 left in the game. Maiden then hits Keenan Christian along the left sideline, who tight ropes down to the 6. He got in the end zone, but he was called out of bounds after that 11-yard pass. And then the capper, a 5-yard touchdown pass from Maiden to, we talked about him earlier, offensive lineman Leo Kemp to make it 33-18. That finished off a 14-play, 78-yard drive that took 7 minutes and 6 seconds, but it's not over yet. On the kickoff, Malik Sherrod runs it all the way out to Fresno 39. Bulldogs get the ball all the way down to the 31 of San Diego State, but on 4th and 9, Keene runs for his life, throws an incompletion, and that's the ball game. A tremendous send-off to Brady Hoke's head coaching career. San Diego State wins it, Steve, 33-18. What a wild one.
Aztecs will win this wild one, and tonight the offense showed up. 33 points on this, the final game of the season. Where have they been?
I don't know, and it was just a really fun game to watch, Steve, as I said all year, but this time you can agree with me because they won.
Yes, this one was indeed a fun and exciting game. The Aztecs will close out the season with a whopping 4 wins against 8 losses, right? And they will send the seniors home with a win. Brady Hoke will close out his season with a win, and they will have their hands on the old oil can.
Yeah, and the Aztecs finished the conference record at 2-6, tied for last place with New Mexico and Nevada. Not exactly where they expected to end up, Steve, at the beginning of the season.
Well, they were picked 4th. They failed the expectations, but in almost every game they were in each of them, except for the Air Force game and then toward the end of that Colorado State game, late in the fourth quarter of that game. The rest of them, they had realistic shots, just didn't get it done. Tonight they got it done. They had some big conversions on 3rd down. Finally tonight, it was one of those games where the Aztecs got more of those chonk plays than the opposition did. So there you go with a win. And what do the players have to say about this?
Yeah, that big chunk play, Steve, was Jalen Maiden's 70-yard touchdown run. It was a thing of beauty. As I said earlier, it looked like a regular handoff to Jalen Armstead, and Maiden pulled the ball and ran left, and nobody was able to catch him. And after the game, he talked about that very play.
Really, I got to tip my hat out to Coach Bill. He's been trying to get that in because it was just a running back run. There wasn't no quarterback design pull in there. So he finally introduced it. And you saw what happened today. Everybody crashed in thinking it was just going to be the same run play we always do. And I pulled it, and there was nobody there. And I kind of just told Leo to just get out the way and let me run. And, yeah, that's how it happened. I called it in the huddle. I was like, y'all, this is going to be a touchdown because we've been running it up the middle the whole time. So the moment I pulled it, defensive end took the guy out in the flats, and he slipped right behind it. And he's been working hard all year and been real consistent. I'm really proud of him.
Boy, Jalen Maiden called that one a touchdown in the huddle. Why wasn't he calling touchdowns in the huddle all season long? He might have been, for all we know.
Yeah, who knows? He might have had a lot more touchdown if you just called him in the huddle. Hey, I'm going to score.
And once again, he finishes as the Aztecs' leading rusher, 112 yards on 14 carries, netted 96 because of the sacks and such. But there was some other sterling play by the Aztecs tonight.
Yeah, there were, Steve. You know, all season long, Brady Hoke has been talking about how they're playing the game for the seniors. Well, today, the seniors talked about how they were playing the game for Brady Hoke. And after the game, Garrett Fountain and Jalen Maiden share their thoughts about winning this game, the final game in Brady Hoke's coaching career.
Well, really, I mean, that's all we wanted to do was just get that win tonight for Coach Hoke, to let him go out the right way, and as well as the seniors, our fellow seniors that are on this team, and really just had some really bad taste in our mouth this year, and some games that we made some mistakes that we should have won, and tonight we just put it together in all three phases. Like Coach said, the kickoff team played a heck of a game, and super proud of those guys. As long as the offense, I mean, it was just a real fun night because everybody was clicking and everybody was rolling for Coach and rolling for the seniors.
Mm-hmm. For me, it's the season didn't go how we wanted it to go, and I took a big part of that on myself. So it felt really good to send a man that gave me an opportunity to play the position that I love out in the fashion that we wanted it to be in.
Yes, Steve, in the media availability after the game, you could really tell by the looks on the players' faces just how thrilled and happy they were. And while we were waiting for Hoke and the players to arrive to the postgame media availability, you could just hear the joy in the locker room next doors. It was just really fun to listen to, and they were just beaming up there today, and it was really nice to see.
Yeah, it was the second or third time I heard the Aztecs fight song, and especially tonight with a lot of emotion. So nice to hear after they worked so hard this season, came so close so many times, and came away disappointed. Nice to see them finish the season with a little bit of joy. And speaking of someone who is deserving of a little bit of credit because he is the head coach, Brady Hoke, he talked about how he wanted the players to really come out with a little bit of fire tonight from the get-go.
We talked about before the game, when we kick off, we're going to make a statement. And those guys on the kickoff team, I want to go back and watch every one of them because they went down the field and they made a statement. And they made a statement for our football team that we were going to be tough and we were going to do everything that we could as a team to get that oil can back. And the other thing is for the seniors. And that's always as much as anything as a coach that has always been important to me is the seniors because of what they've been through, the winter conditionings, the spring balls, the summer, the grinds in the weight room, and in January at 6 a.m. Those are the guys who've been through it. They're the ones who understand it. And so it was great to get the win for them and get the oil can back in San Diego.
And someone in the media room, I can't recall exactly who it was, but asked him how nice it was to win this your final game of the season. And he answered, it's nice to win because it's why you play the game. In addition, there were numerous former Aztecs out and about, like Jonah Tavai, one of them, who was in the interview room, offering their support, and he was asked, was it nice to have those people there for him? Characteristically, Hoke said it was nice to have them there for the team.
Shoot, you always want to win, right? We go out every game and try and win, but it's great to win. I mean, don't like losing. Well, support for this team, and that's the important thing. I mean, Jonah. If we could have found a way to play him, we would have. But, having a guy that you coached and you helped and you helped develop in a lot of different ways, I mean, that's why I got into coaching. And so having him here is awesome. And he's one of the best.
Speaking of one of the best, we have one of the best stat sheet readers in the business today. Lewis Weiner, you have some more thoughts. THOTS.
Steve, a couple of things stood out to me about tonight's game that really made a huge impact on the final score. And one of them is how the Aztecs were able to sustain drives all night long. They had drives of 8 plays, 10 plays, 8 plays, 9 plays, and 2 drives of 14 plays. And each of those drives, Steve, were more than 7 minutes long. And another thing that stood out was how San Diego State was able to rush the ball. They finished the game with 226 yards on the ground. As you said earlier, Jalen Maiden had 96, Armstead 41, Cam Davis 42, Keenan Christian 28. Even Tobin Odell finished with 21 yards. And I heard after the game that when San Diego State rushes for over 200 yards a game, Steve, they are now 56-2. So that seems to be the recipe. And we go back to Donnell Pumphrey and all the great running backs in San Diego State history. When they're able to win, when they're able to run the ball, they're able to win the game.
And such long drives helps the defense. It keeps them fresh. And as Garrett Fountain said, hey, we were getting to spend a lot of time on the sidelines cheering on the offense, and we love that. And that was one of the big moments of the first quarter when the Aztecs were able to generate a rare turnover for them, intercepting Mikey Keene. That interception by Marcus Ratcliffe stopped drive dead in its tracks in the first quarter. And on that turnover, the Aztecs ended up getting it on down the field and scoring the field goal in the second quarter. So I'm going to say that turnover, the interception, was a key play that helped set the tone early. There was a terrific performance by Malik Sherrod, who in addition to gaining 138 yards on the ground, had 44 receiving yards. He returned kicks for 130 yards, so he generated a substantial part of the Fresno State Bulldogs offense, accounting for 312 yards. So great individual night performance by the running back from Fresno State, but fortunately for the Aztecs, not enough to propel them to victory. The Aztecs will win. They will hold the oil can for a year.
Yeah, it's funny after the game, Steve, how Brady Hoke said that he thought about last year's game. And if you recall last year's game against Fresno, looked like the Aztecs were going to win. And then an onside kick blew. And all of a sudden, one play later, Fresno State threw a touchdown. And it was just really mind-boggling how they lost that game. And it's funny how Brady Hoke mentioned that he thought about that game, when Fresno State started moving the ball toward the end of this game.
Oh, no. I've heard players discuss that particular game and that closing game at length a number of times leading up to this season. So that's kind of one of those games that will stick in your craw and give you the so-called nightmares. But this game hopefully will take away a little bit of that sting.
I think so. Aztec football, season over. Now we transition into waiting to hear who the new head coach will be, Steve. But that's for another podcast, not tonight.
Yeah, when they name him, we'll hear what he has to say. They're interviewing a lot of candidates. Process story.
Yeah.
So we're transitioning now to basketball. An overtime game, another one against a team from the incredible shrinking conference. The Aztecs will win this one 76-67, just up the road in San Juan Capistrano. The Pavilion at J. Serra at SoCal Classic. And, boy, the Aztecs led this one by as much as 12 with 9:24 to play. Then they go into that scoring drought. Cal will rally behind their Goliath of a player, Fardaz Amak, who scored 14 points, pulled down 18 rebounds. They rally to tie the game. Aztecs have enough in the tank to head to overtime, tied 63-all, where they finally made some stops. They limit Cal to 4 points. They score 13. As Aztecs assistant coach Dave Velasquez can now joke, well, just another classic Aztec game.
Like, the hardest thing to do in basketball, and nobody really understands it because we see it all the time with San Diego State, is to continue to play defense at the level we asked them to when the ball's not falling. And I thought we stepped up and made really critical big-time free throws. I felt like we got the most critical rebounds. But our rebounding, we got to get better. I mean, we gave 21 offensive rebounds tonight. That's not how we do things, but he is a very, very, very good rebounder. This is the first of many times where Jaden's going to be the number one on the scouting report, and how does he handle that? And I thought tonight he did a good job. I mean, he still shot 10 free throws, 19 and 7. He still drew 9 fouls. Obviously, we need him to get him to jump stop at the end of his drives and take a deeper breath when he's trying to get downhill. But I thought Jaden, I mean, again, he just creates so much pressure on the defense. And then, again, he's just a warrior. 42 out of 45 minutes is hard to do, as hard as we ask you to play defensively. And then, obviously, the MVP of the night with Reese Waters. I mean, I'm so happy for him. He's emotional because he knew that this is what he had in him this whole time, and he came here to do this. And we're just getting started. I keep trying to tell him, like, a one good game is not going to mean anything. What's going to mean a lot is for us to continue to win and you to continue to play well.
Yeah, Steve, you talked about how the Aztecs went stone cold for a long stretch. Darian Trammell hit a 3 with 11:34 left in the game, and that was hard to believe, that was the final field goal the Aztecs would make until they got to overtime. But in overtime, as you said, they were able to pull it off. Jaden Ledee finished with 19 points. He was leading the nation in scoring at 26.8, but he did not reach that number tonight. But Reese Waters did have a fantastic game to make up for those points. He had a career day, Steve, 24 points, 7 rebounds, 2 steals in 40 minutes, and he has not missed a free throw, Steve, all season long. He is automatic.
He is the number 1 player in the nation, percentage-wise. Yes, to his credit, he knows how to knock them down.
Yeah, and the Aztecs able to pull this one out despite a struggling game for Lamont Butler, who only scored 1 point. He got into foul trouble early and really struggled to get into any sort of routine during the game, and scored 1 point in a free throw in overtime.
Fortunately for the Aztecs, though, behind Waters and Ledee and a team effort from the rest of the Aztecs, they were able to play Aztec defense, hold them to 4 points in the overtime, and they are now 5-1 and facing Point Loma Nazarene coming up.
That is Monday night at Viejas Arena.
So that will be the game against the Sea Lions on Your View, whatever that is. And we're probably ready to wrap
I don't know what
this
that
up.
is.
That's what they say it's on. It's on Your View, 7 p.m. at Viejas, and that'll probably do it for this edition.
I believe we've had chock full out of stuff. We've talked about football. We've talked about basketball.
Oh, wait. On the way out, before we go in and let you play this one out, I asked the football players, because this was about the old oil can. And at the end of that game, once the Aztecs had realized that they had won and all the time was off the clock, a host of Aztecs started sprinting for the corner of the field where the old oil can is sitting on the Fresno State side of the field. And I just had to ask them, hey, who won that sprint?
Yeah, it had to be BCD or Christian. They were talking about that before the game even ended. They were like, we're going to run out there and get it. And I was like, man, y'all got it.
I was still out of breath. Going back and forth, zigzag. All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Yes, Steve, that was fun to listen to. And it's funny you asked that question. It was a great question just as they were wrapping up the news conference, and it really got them energized and animated.
You see how much more fun and exciting it is for them to win? You see?
I do.
Okay.
That will do it for this edition of Aztecs All In. Thank you so much for listening. Please follow and subscribe to us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. You can also follow us on the X at Aztecs_all_in. And if you want to drop us a line, you could send us an email at aztecsallin@gmail.com. For Steve Perez, I'm Louis Weiner. Until next time, so long.